Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Projector, and I make content mainly around City of Heroes endgame stuff like 4-star task forces or eye trials. And today I'm going to be taking you through the 4-star Lady Grey. I am playing on my Ice Kinetics Corruptor and joining a run led by Maya and some really good friends of mine on this run as well. And I'm just going to take you through a walkthrough of how I approach playing Kin, and I'm going to give you kind of a play-by-play as we go through. I'm going to try my best not to have to pause and go back over anything, so I'll try and just give you the play-by-play analysis as the run goes, but I will pause if I need to rewind and call your attention to anything specific. So you're going to see the run exactly as I saw it, and obviously there's not going to be any Discord audio or anything because, well, that would be really confusing to hear it alongside my voice. So a couple things off of the bat is right at the start here, we're setting up. We are buffing up prior to starting because things like Ice Shield, Speed Boost, ID, all of those will stack. They'll stack when we go inside the mission. So if you use it outside of a door and then inside of a door, it will double stack those buffs. ID stacks on its own, thankfully, but the others will not. You do need to leave the zone and come back or use them on either side of a mission door. But we're just buffing up here. We just got barrier assignments, and you're going to see a team transporter come down, and you're going to see team 2 barrier come out, and we are going to take off. You'll also see that I am looking for whoever the in-canner is, and I'm going to make sure that I give them ID and speed boost. Specifically, I need to make sure that they have an individual ID, so I need to target them and give them ID, or else they will not get the Mez protection benefit. And then as we enter, we drop our dummy and click the door to bring the dummy in with us. Now, as the in-canner is running, my job as the kin is to get our damage bonus capped. So you can see my damage bonus being monitored over here in the side. And so I'm going to first double up on speed boost here and get my siphon speed out on a dummy to get my recharge up, and then hit fulcrum shift and siphon power to get my team buffed up as quickly as possible while the in-canner is running. So that's what we're doing here. We're just waiting. As soon as you see, or as soon as Laciana lets us know that she is ready to in-can us, you're gonna see me pop my hybrid, and you're going to also, I think I pop Geese here. Geas of the Kind Ones or Force of Nature, whichever you prefer. They're both the exact same. Yep, so I just hit my hybrid. I look south, and first thing I do is target that mob, hit my judgment, and now I'm looking to see which enemy is likely going to get lost in the shuffle. It's going to be that Magus. So I'm going to target that Magus so I don't lose him. And now you can see he's teleported into the middle of the screen. Now, if we don't know what enemy is left, I can call out that it's the Magus, and we can make sure it dies so that we can get the Clockwork King summoned. From here on out, I am looking to keep hitting fulcrum shift on cooldown, and I'm using transference pretty much on as much as possible off of the Clockwork King in order to keep my team healed and also his regen debuffed. So that's all I'm going to be doing throughout here, refreshing my buffs, hitting my heal, and then hitting siphon power, fulcrum shift, build up in Blizzard whenever I see that my team is stable. So here, before I hit Blizzard, I was checking to make sure that, man, we already paused, that our absorbs are up, no one's in danger, we're not losing any health. That gives me a small window that I can actually start attacking and using my powers. So I'm joining in on the damage, keeping my recharge up with siphon speed. And then I turn off my particles with a slash command quickly to make it easier for me to see. And I'm still using my transfusion and other powers whenever I can, but joining in the team to do damage to the Clockwork King quickly, get him taken down and on to the next mission. So pretty straightforward here. I'm letting my team know that the heals are off of Clockwork King because I want them to gather in close. It's not my job to try and find them to get them heals. It is their job to gather up close to the enemy that we're fighting so that they get the heals. If I am compensating for all of their positioning mistakes, then it means that they're likely also not getting fulcrum shift, because I'm also fulcrum shifting off of whatever our main target is. And if they're too far to get transference and transfusion, then they are not getting fulcrum shift. So that's kind of my sign that I'm looking for to make sure that my team is where I need them to be. All right, now I'm going to run straight through these mobs as quickly as I can. The name of the game is trying to run as smoothly as possible. Obviously, sometimes you do still get snagged on something, on a corner or on an enemy, so you just sometimes have to deal with it and get through it. But join the team, re-speed boosting, rebuffing, and then waiting for the call to hit Clarion and barriers. Now that those have been hit, we're taken off. To run through here, I'm usually using a combination of my keyboard to turn, as well as holding my right mouse button down. And then as soon as I jump in, I'm hitting my Blizzard and Fulcrum Shift. I hit Blizzard first here instead of Fulcrum Shift. Even though I know my Blizzard will do less damage, I'm trying to give my team more time to arrive before I hit Fulcrum Shift so that they can get the buff too. And then I'm repositioning as I need to dodge those bubbles, trying to track which enemy is going to be the last one that we need to kill. I know it's this Magus. And then we move on. We still run through. If I get teleswapped, it'll be the same direction I'm running. And once I see my first target, dropping that judgment, hitting my AoEs, hitting my fulcrum shifts. We're all on famine first. And then if I need to heal my team, I'm going to look for a target in these kind of sporadic fights. I'm going to look for a target that's pretty central to my team. So when we're not fighting a main boss, or we're in a position that we can't be near the main boss, so there I would like to heal off of War Rider, but I can't because of bubbles, then I'm picking other targets and healing off of them as I need to as well. As soon as we get the door, we're running. And we wait in the corner for the in-can. While we're waiting here, you'll probably see me buff up here if I'm doing it right. If I'm doing it wrong, then oh well. I don't worry about IDing here specifically for the whole team because I know that I'm going to hit Clarion basically right after we land. So I hit my Clarion, the Fulcrum Shift, hit Clarion, and then I go to town by fighting the target that my leader has asked us to fight, which is famine first, and then usually, depending on the leader, it's usually pestilence and then war. So we're on famine. I'm still looking to keep my heals up, still looking to keep my team's damage up the whole time. Now we're looking at war. Still just attacking the way it is. And you'll notice I'm not using a lot of my powers. Like, I'm not using... Sometimes I actually forget that I even have aim, but, you know, I don't get to attack all that often. So here I suspected that that tentacle might be a part of the mob still, and was attacking it. Then I realized that that isn't really that important. So I just focused my attention back on Death Rider, number one, because I remembered I'm the kin and shouldn't be taking out key targets as the kin, and secondly, because someone else can kill it faster than I can anyway. Now my team is relatively safe, so I can just keep attacking, keep doing my thing. I'm still worried that tentacle might be a part of it, so I'm trying to kill it in time. You don't want to be... You want the mission to end when the Death Rider dies, so that you don't get stuck in the neural field and then have to deal with any other enemies like that feral kraken. So that's why I was still fighting that tentacle, just in case it happened to be a part of the main mob that we needed to defeat. Teleporting up to avoid that Richty pylon, and then into the next mission. Here, I think I'm gonna try and catch Laciana before she runs. Nope, I did not catch her. Was not paying attention fast enough. Normally, I would like to ID the person running, but also as a Peacebringer, she does have some mez protection, so it's fine. We're gonna take out this first mob. I think I was stuck in the door. Yeah, I was stuck in the door. So then I combat teleported out. Myself and Jericho were both stuck in the door there. Okay, Inferni is free, and now we just sit and chill. Here, ideally, and this was my mistake, I should have started IDing the entire team right here. While we're just sitting, I should have been going through one by one and IDing them. I have keybinds on all of my number pad from 1 through 8 that will target that team slot. So if I press numpad 1, it will target Maya, and it will use increased density if I do a long press of that button. And I have that for 1 through 8 on my numpad. So here, now I've remembered, and now I'm cycling through and trying to make sure I hit everyone with ID, because we're not going to get Clarion until the dragon fight. So cycling through, the team is buffing up. We're probably going to get a flex 2 here, just a single barrier while we pull. And just trying to help the team kill this as quickly as possible, since we're not in any danger. We've got to kill this last Magus. He was a part of it. He was in on it. And now we've got the cutscene, and we will run. Unless the leader explicitly asks for it, I never use Clarion in that situation. I'm always just cycling through ID. My general rule of thumb for playing Kin is if my team has to tell me they're mezzed, then I'm not doing my job. Run through. Jumping is incredibly helpful. As soon as we get there, we pull out our lures and hit those rebuffs. And yes, I'm a dirty clicker. I click a lot of my powers. As soon as I get that Team 1 call, I'm hitting Clarion alongside of Team 1, getting ready to target my pets, and I have a pet targeting macro. And then I'm on that War Priest as soon as I land, knowing that my pets are on Dragon. I normally wouldn't, however, I want to make sure that it dies quickly, and we don't have any specific DPS set tunes or roles on this team. So I'm helping to do that, and I can trust my team to stay alive while I kill a target. Once that's the case, once that's taken care of, now I'm back on Dragon. Gonna drop those AoEs to help take care of any monkey count problems. We want to keep those Ricti Vulture, that count of Ricti Vultures as low as possible. The team is going to be looking for a Psi Protector Primate to take down the Psi Protector shield on Kong and Dragon. I realize that I'm in a shitty position because Dragon is facing me and so is Kong, and their attacks will hurt, so I move out of the way, and now I'm back to more so healing a lot more often and hitting AoEs and other powers when I can. There are several times where you'll notice that I'm not hitting Fulcrum Shift very often, or not hitting Siphon Power very often, or whatever, and it's simply because I need to make sure my team is alive, and there's no point in Fulcrum Shifting if my team is going to die while I'm Fulcrum Shifting. So Dragon was being a little weird this run. He was not following Maya as she taunted very well, so there's a lot of times where he just ends up in the middle of the room. Again, I'm not asking my team to come toward me. I'm not asking my team to stay where they are and then I'm going to find enemies near them to heal. I'm telling them specifically, heals are off of Dragon. Now that the gas is down, we're going to move over to Kong, and now my heals are off of Kong. And unfortunately, it does look like we were late on a barrier call, so Barrier and Clarion are now going back out, where the team is going to restabilize here, and my job is still focused on helping to keep that Ricti Vulture count down while trying to heal as often as possible. In this fight, my goal is also to make sure I am always using Siphon Speed on Kong, regardless on whether or not we're damaging Dragon. So even when Kong and Dragon are separated, I'm still, every time Siphon Speed is up, wanting to target Kong and make sure that I am hitting Siphon Speed, because that is a minus recharge debuff, and that is how you prevent Kong from jumping immediately after the gas goes down. You keep him in that corner for a little bit longer, and you get to double up the damage. Maya's having a rough time this run. Wasn't really sure why that was happening, but she gets back up. We get her rebuffed. and we continue that attack chain rotation. Now notice there I clicked transference purely out of habit. There was no need for me to do it. We had perfect end. So that was a small thing of like, I just have a habit of doing it, but I would rather click it knowing that, you know, it's time to hit it than not. So, or then miss it and not even think about it. It's my ADHD. If it's on my mind to hit it, I hit it and then I move on. So now I know my team is doing okay. We've stabilized. I can help defeat that Psy Protector monkey. But for the most part, that's a judgment I have to make based on my team's health. Otherwise, I would be ignoring that, and I'm just focused on hitting Dragon or Kong. I take that in-can, and then I move out of the way immediately in case the tank also took the in-can, so that Dragon's AoEs aren't hitting me. We're focused back on Kong, and we continue with our kin rotations, rebuffing and siphon speed whenever possible. Again, playing with particles off makes this fight a lot easier. And then I'm hitting Clarion on cooldown, knowing that it goes out alongside Team 1. However, if the barrier rotations get out of whack, then I know to hit Clarion on cooldown. We fold spaced away some of these suits, so I'm going to help spike the one that's low so that its bubble doesn't spawn near us, and then I'm back on Kong. Again, as the kin, normally I would not do this. However, I'm playing with players of a similar skill level. I trust them. Our team is solid. I'm not worried about defenses dropping. Buffs are going out appropriately. So when that happens, I can help with things like fold spacing the suits out of the way and spiking them. I can afford to change targets on occasion. If this was a much more difficult run, a team of players I was unfamiliar with, I might actually be on a defender instead of a corruptor. And I would be mainly focused on kinning, because even if something isn't dying fast enough, at least I'm keeping my team alive, and that gives them more time to do damage as well. So helping clear those scientists out, and then right back on Kong. This was a really quick fight, thankfully. However, I actually think this may be the run where we actually end up wiping by accident. I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm helping. Again, the team is solid here, so I can help by clearing out one of those suits, and then I'm back in with the rest of the team and healing again. Oh, looks like I'm DPSing again, but I will eventually heal when I see that we may need it. I'm not entirely sure how Kitten died there. I think he was off killing either a primate or working with a suit. I think what happened was he was off killing a suit or a monkey, and he did not get a barrier, so then he just died right afterwards. All right, same thing. Team is stable. Since I see that our health is staying stable, our defenses are good, I can continue to wail on Dragon, and I don't need to necessarily worry about hitting transference as often. I still want to hit it on occasion, A, to make sure we heal, and B, to make sure that I'm keeping the minus regen debuff on him. And obviously Kong jumped onto us there, so we all moved over to the yellow corner to get out of the way of the gas. And we finished the fight. And good, this was not the run I was thinking of where we had Dragon all the way down to like 25%, then died and had to bring him all the way back down again. That fight sucked. So that was the Kong fight. That was kinning through the Kong fight. The only things that might be different are if Dragon, for whatever reason, if I have a tank that isn't using combat teleport to move between corners, then Dragon won't follow with combat teleport. He'll actually just hover over. And if that's the case, then he may not be in the right place, and I can't use him as the target for everyone to gather around. So until Dragon or Kong are in the right spot, I'm going to choose random vultures to heal off of if I need to. But that's very situational. Most of the time, I am healing off of Dragon and Kong, and every time that we move between corners, I am calling out which target I am aiming for. Because this is a speed run, and the team all knows what to do, we immediately jump in on Hammy to begin working on the Mitos. Greens are holds only. I mean, you can damage them, period, but getting them mezzed is actually how you get full damage on them. And then as soon as the whole team is here, you'll notice all I'm going to be doing is IDing them the whole time. So I'm just cycling through, occasionally attacking, but for the most part, I'm just going to keep cycling through increased density to protect them from getting any mez or stuns from Hammy or from the yellow Mitos mainly. But eventually, Chief Mentalists or Mesmerists can get aggroed, Maguses can get aggroed when the ship appears. So my goal is to proactively keep IDing my team while I am also helping to take down the Mitos. There are some runs where throughout this entire phase, I don't get to attack. All I'm doing is keeping my team speed boosted, maybe hitting a transference for endurance if I see that the team is close enough, and then cycling back through ID, as you see here. You can tell by how I'm going in order that I'm just using my keybinds and then cycling backward through everyone. Just making sure those IDs are individually applied so that they're getting the full benefit of mez protection. If your run is going bad enough, it won't matter how much you do this. You should still be doing it, but it won't necessarily make a huge impact because if you have too many enemies, eventually the mez protection just wins, or the mez protection is overridden by how many holds are being stacked on you. Once we in-can, we hit Clarion again, and then we hold Clarion until that point, until we're on a pylon, and then we are joining the rest of the team. I do have a special tab bind set up here that I can put in the video description for you that allows me to target the pylons or prioritize the pylons with tab. And then I'm hitting a bind to teleport to target. It is by far the safest way to move between pylons and guarantee you get there fast. And then again, just cycling through my IDs as we go, making sure that my team stays topped off on mez protection, considering that Clarion does decay over the duration, over its 2-minute duration. And just staying with the team, attacking when I can, fulcrum shifting when I can. My priority, though, is keeping everybody alive. So if it means that our damage bonus falls off a little bit, that's fine with me because everybody doing 100% damage is better than some people doing 0 damage. And then as soon as we get the last pylon, we run to Hammy. I run to the opposite side of where I think the tank is going to be so that the tank all the aggro will follow the tank. And then I'm out trying to spam heals, spam IDs still, try to keep my team alive. And then sometimes I just have to hope that my team can kill it fast enough without my help or without my additional damage. Now you'll notice how much I'm using my kin powers over my ice powers. This is specifically because as the kin, you're going to be really busy with using your kin powers primarily. This is why Ice Blast is such a good complement to Kinetics, because you can drop Blizzard and it is doing damage while you are kinning. And then you have amazing utility from your holds in Freeze Ray and Dominate to add to any situation that your team may need them for. But for the most part, you can focus on kinning and you can still contribute to damage in a meaningful way if everything is solid. I'm an idiot and entered the mission forgetting we're going to do a hot engage on Hrodots here. So then I exit. I think I made a joke right there about how I just entered to give Lausiana increased density, but instead that's not what I did. I just entered and left, and now I'm embarrassed. So now that we're out here, what we're going to do is going to do a hot in-can on Hrodots. So as soon as the cutscene is almost over, we're all going to enter. But for the meantime, we stay out here, and I try to get us up to our full damage bonus cap, which is 400% for me, 300% for defenders, I believe, and some of the lower damage ATs. And I'm just here keeping the team buffed, keeping my recharge back up, and we wait out here so that we're not also stuck in the cutscene. When the cutscene plays, everything freezes, all cooldowns freeze, and so this allows us to bypass that and allow any powers that are still on cooldown to keep recharging throughout the cutscene. As soon as Lausiana tells us that we're ready, we're going to run inside. and I am hitting fulcrum shift. The one thing I probably should have been doing here is also IDing everybody, but it's okay. We're here. It is what it is. As soon as we enter, cutscene finishes. I try to drop speed boost and ID again as quickly as possible, and I'm spamming ID on some of the people that I'm worried about may get held. And now we hit Team 1 and Clarion. I target Rodots, and now I am looking to hit AoEs, wait for him to get closer, and then all of my heals and everything are going to remain on Rodots while we kite him back. You see, I accidentally jumped way too far and had to come back up. An easier way to move there would have just been for me to use combat teleport. Again, managing my team's HP. Here I am anticipating, because the fight is usually pretty rough, that I'm going to have to heal actively. We got pretty lucky this run with an easy engage, but sometimes this gets really messy, especially if the tank gets, or if anyone really gets, teleswapped around the room, because then they bring all of that extra aggro with them. So we stay focused on dots and we take him out. And then as soon as we get through the cutscene, typically it's good to top off on speed boost and increase density again. If you think about it, there we go. And as I run, it's all right turns through here. And then I throw out a couple of attacks towards the reactor and get ready to move through the tunnel to the next area. And I messed up and ended up dying. Luckily, I bounced from momentum, and so I was able to use my immortal recovery. If you die standing on the green, then, oh well, you're SOL. You'll have to wait for a teleport or click go to hospital. But in this case, because my momentum made me bounce off the ground and I landed on the wall, I could still use an immortal recovery to get up. All right. So we pull lures as soon as they're off of cooldown, rebuffing the team, keeping my lures attacked on set on Honoree, and then Honoree is also the main one that I'm going to be healing and buffing off of. So we're going to run out, cross the green, rubber band a bunch of times, and kill the reactor on the way out. And there's the run. So that was a very, very quick walkthrough. Feel free to repeat any parts of this that you are curious about or want to see again. But if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out, leave a comment down below, and Let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm going to be doing some of these voiceover or narrated runs soon for all the different roles. So tank, cold, and second heal, as well as DPS and in-can. So be on the lookout for that. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.